I think it was how he was trying to show me up in front of my friends that really did it. I just couldn't stand the thought of losing face in front of them, so I clapped back with like, "Yeah, but your mom loves it when I dress up for her."
Yeah, why you do it with the finger, dog? Yo. I see why he picks on you, bro. Cause you do stuff like this. What's going on, Presidential Gang? It's your boy, Mr. President, man. What's good, boys? What's good? Welcome back for some more
scary stories.
I think this is episode 7 that we're doing. I'm not sure, but I'll double check on that, man. But anyways, guys, before we get started, I just want you guys to know that, hey, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for me, and also like the video. Why not? You know, I'm gonna let you know what we're checking out today. We're checking out 6 Halloween oh my god, why does it always do this? 6 Halloween horror stories animated compilation of 2020. Hey, why not? We're in October and it's scary, and this guy kind of reminded me of like a Pennywise, but a simp version. Alright guys, look, before the video gets started, also, I know we've been checking out a lot of Wansi Entertainment, but this dude popped up on my recommendations, and I'm like, yo, I haven't checked out this dude in a minute. I think last time I checked him out, like, a couple was in a forest, and then someone was trying to kill them, and I'm like, yo, why not, you know? Why not? I know we've been checking out a lot of Wansi lately. One, because he's goated, and he's the GOAT for horror stories, and also Llama too. Llama, I haven't forgot about you. I need to check out some of your stories as well. But without further ado, guys, go get your snacks, go get your popcorns, go get your Pop-Tarts, go get your orange juice. I don't know, whatever snacks that you guys like to eat while watching these scary stories, go get them right now. I'll wait. Alright, bet, let's get it.
Years ago, when I was 5 going on 6, I dressed up as Pennywise the clown for Halloween.
Okay, so he did try to be Pennywise.
All day due to my school letting us wear them for parties in our classes. When we were dismissed from school, my father met me with a pleasant surprise. He was dressed in a yellow raincoat and had a hat on.
Is he, I don't know why I was about to say George of the Jungle, but no, not him. Curious George, guys, Curious George. His owner. He looks like that. Is he?
And he was Georgie from the movie It.
Oh, George! Wow.
He held my hand as we went to the car. Then we drove home.
Yo, no cap. You need a bigger raincoat, my guy.
A few hours go by, and my father took me out to go trick-or-treating because
that
my mother
extra
wasn't
medium
well.
raincoat.
Pow.
The night went on as scheduled. Kids bombarding doors for candy, teenagers scaring each other, and parents losing their kids. Everyone loved our costumes. Again, I was Pennywise the clown and he was Georgie from the 1990 It.
Alright, bro, we know. You
My
trying to
father
flex
held
on
my
him. You
hand
trying to flex on
between
him.
each house and waited at the end of each driveway. One house took longer than others, and I remember that I was very anxious. Once I received my candy, I remember that there were more people than usual, and I had to run through a crowd to get to my father. I reached him, held his hand, and off we went, but it was the opposite direction of where we initially were going. I didn't think anything of it because of how young I was.
Okay.
We went down one of the dark back streets where our garbage was picked up for some reason. And we were walking unusually fast.
What's going
I
on?
remember that I said, "Daddy," but my father started moving faster and didn't answer me. Then all of a sudden,
What's up with dude?
I heard my name yelled out from about 25 yards behind us, and it was my father's voice.
Oh, that's not his father. That's not his. Look at his face. Yo, that's not his father, bro. Straight up, bro, that's not his father. Yo, not like Maury, not that type, but literally that's not his father right here.
I looked back and it was my father. I looked up at the person that I was walking with, and he had on the same costume as my dad.
Hit him with a spin move and like stiff arm him down.
It wasn't him. I looked at my dad and yelled out to him.
Why he
the man then let me go.
Why he like that, bro?
And my father was running full speed at us.
Like a
the man
T-Rex,
took off down
bro.
the alley, then through a backyard. My father reached me. He was out of breath while he was hugging and kissing me.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. You never get entrusted alone with your kid ever again, bro. Straight up.
So asked me if I was okay. My father called the cops and explained to them that he lost track of me in a huge crowd at one of the houses and that there was some sick guy roaming our neighborhood. Once we got home,
is he dressed exactly like you though? Because
he told her that a crowd
know,
gathered and some random guy with some costume the same as him walked up to him.
Oh yeah, he is.
I approached the porch. He told her that the guy said I was a cute kid. They wanted to just snatch me up in a joking manner. Then the crowd gathered even more, and he lost track of me until he saw us turn the corner onto the back street. And that's when he started to run after us and yell my name. Now looking back, I bet my father was losing his mind and probably wanted to kill.
Y'all stay safe out there, man. I know, like, I know we can't go out trick-or-treating or anything. I say we like I'm gonna do it. I haven't done it in a while. Y'all stay safe out there, though, for real, for real. One, because of COVID, and two, because there are actually people like this that exist, all right? They're actually out there and wait for Halloween till everyone is, like, dressed up and everything to go kidnap people, man. So you guys stay safe out there.
That guy, when he saw us together. Until this day, I'm grateful that my father found us when he did, because who knows what would have happened to me.
I don't know, bro. It would have been GG for you.
When I was a kid, I loved Halloween. I went trick-or-treating up until I was 12.
That took forever to start, bro.
My last time going trick-or-treating, I went with my friend Drew. He loved Halloween as much as I did.
Who doesn't?
This Halloween, everyone seemed more wild than usual, but it was Halloween.
Yo, why Drew looking at him like, yo, hold on.
To a house that had a flashlight.
Yo, what's going on?
Porch,
chill.
We noticed that everyone stopped at the end of the walkway. They kept walking past the house once they noticed that there wasn't any candy. Not us. I told Drew we should check it out. Or we should just let these people know to turn their light off because it's confusing people.
Or just mind your own business and walk away.
We noticed that none of the lights were on in the house. As Drew was set to knock on the door, one of the front windows raised just a little bit, and the blinds moved back about an inch.
Just walk away.
Drew put his hand down, and the both of us looked at the window. Then the voice said,
"Hey, just come in for the candy."
Oh.
The door opened a bit, and by surprise, Drew walked in like
Drew,
a dummy.
are you dumb?
I asked him why he was going in, and he said, "I want some candy."
Oh!
As he turned to answer me, someone put their hands on his mouth. I immediately ran forward to help him, and I heard multiple voices yelling, "Grab him." The door shut.
Oh, there's multiple people.
I could hear wrestling sounds. Drew was fighting these guys. I started yelling, screaming, and banging on the door, but I couldn't get in. I didn't have a cell phone, so I ran down the street asking people to help.
Damn, bro.
And that my friend was in trouble. Everyone laughed and were telling me that they're not falling for it.
Bro.
I got a block away and I ran into a police officer. I told him what was going on, but he was very skeptical due to it being Halloween. He put me in his car, and I showed him where the house was. As we were pulling up to the house, I saw my friend's body on the front lawn with people just walking past.
He needs some milk.
I started yelling and screaming to the cop that it was my friend.
Is he dead?
He needs the help. The police officer believed me once we got up to my friend. He was bloody. Luckily, he was alive.
Oh.
But those guys beat him pretty badly. Then they dropped his body and left. The police officer told us that the house was abandoned, and that's why we didn't notice any lights on. My friend is pretty much scarred for life, especially.
An abandoned house should always look abandoned. You already know it's abandoned from the outside, bro. Like, look, an abandoned house cannot look this clean. This house actually looks clean, bro. So come on, that was on y'all. Look at Drew looking at him, bro. Like, yo, Drew's like, yo, it is what it is, bro. I took the L.
Being that people were walking past him as if he were a Halloween ornament and laughing. But luckily, that cop listened to me. And honestly, I haven't celebrated Halloween since.
Damn, Drew. That's what you get for trying to go in.
This all happened 28 years ago. when I was 8 years old. My mother and my father would often take me to visit my grandparents for Halloween. My aunt lived 2 houses down from my grandparents, and I could go trick-or-treating with my cousins. Between my grandparents' place and my aunt's place, there was an old dilapidated house. We always skipped it when we went trick-or-treating Halloween night because the woman who lived there gave us the creeps.
Shoot, I can imagine.
Like a huge woman. She was over 6 feet tall and wore chains around her neck and heavy work boots.
Okay, Abby.
There was obviously something very wrong with her.
Okay.
Whenever we went back and forth between my aunt's place and my grandparents' place, we always had to run past the woman's house because she was always standing at her windows watching us. It was so creepy that we never
Why is she
dared
outside
run past
then?
her house alone. Sometimes the big
Bro,
woman
she
would be
looks like
outside
she's
of the
on
house,
meds.
watering
Look
the
at
garden
her.
or scrubbing the windows. When we ran
She's not
past,
even pouring down
she would
anything,
shout
bro.
and yell at us. She would tell us that the devil was coming for us.
Damn.
We told the adults
Chill with
about her,
that.
but they just told us to leave her alone and stay away from her. One Halloween, we were going trick-or-treating with my other older cousins. They dared us to go to the big woman's house and knock on her door. I remember being so afraid, but I didn't want to look like a coward, so I agreed.
This man.
Dressed in our Halloween costume,
Falling into
we
that
walked
peer
up to
pressure.
her driveway and rang the doorbell. Suddenly, there was a lot of banging and slamming noises coming from the house.
Yo.
We were frightened, and I was about to run away when the door creaked open.
I mean, what did you expect, though?
The woman was standing there in the dim light. She was holding something in her hand,
Oh!
but when we saw what it was, we all ran screaming down the driveway.
Was it real?
It looked like a human head. When we got home, we were all shaking and out of breath.
That's wild.
Some of the younger kids were crying.
Oh
The
my
adults
god.
asked us
My
what was
cat
wrong,
fell off.
and when we told them what we had seen, they just laughed at us, and they didn't take it serious. My grandfather said it was just a Halloween prop, and my grandmother told us we shouldn't be bothering that woman. After we all calmed down, we went outside again and continued trick-or-treating. However, we stayed away from that big woman's house. About a month later, my father got a phone call from my grandparents. They said that the big woman who lived next door had attacked my aunt. My aunt had just came home from shopping. She was carrying her groceries in one arm, and she had my baby cousin in her other arm. Just as she got to her front door, the big woman appeared out of nowhere. She had a rope saw and put it around my aunt's neck. My aunt flipped out and immediately dropped the groceries along with my baby cousin. My aunt
Yo.
managed to get her hands around the rope saw.
Okay.
She started kicking her front door with her feet as she struggled. Her husband heard all of the commotion, and when he saw what was happening, he ran outside and got the woman off of my aunt.
Tackle her,
My
dog?
aunt survived the attack, but it left her with scars on her hands, along with scars across the front of her neck.
At least you alive.
Of course, the police were called, and they arrested the big woman. When they searched her house, they found something that shocked everybody in the area. The woman had been digging tunnels under her home, which came up under my aunt's house, my grandparents' house, and another neighbor's house. She had been bringing the dirt up and putting it in her flower beds in her garden. But that wasn't all.
What?
The most chilling discovery was that she had also built some kind of shrine under her house with candles and other stuff on it. At the center of the shrine was a real human head. Needless to say, it was the same head that we saw when we went trick-or-treating on Halloween.
This
night.
woman's on crack,
She had
bro.
already murdered one woman, and my aunt almost became the next severed head in her collection.
Gee, shit.
The night before Halloween of 2006, I was walking down the sidewalk to my friend's house.
Okay.
As I was making my way down the sidewalk, I saw something moving across the street a little ways in front of me.
Bro, don't go investigating it.
I wasn't too familiar with the Halloween movies at the time,
What?
but I did recognize the Michael Myers mask as I watched the figure walk into the front yard of a house that was on the other
Yo, yeah. Hold on. Oh, man.
I wasn't too familiar
Hear
with
this,
the
hear
Halloween
this, hear
movies
this.
at the time, but I did recognize the Michael Myers mask as I watched the figure walk into the front yard of a house that was on the other side of the street.
Yo, my boy. You can easily get away, alright? This Michael Myers sounds like he's out of shape. Like, he's done for, bro. His Halloween days are behind him, bro. He just wants to chill.
It then stopped, looked in my direction,
Oh my gosh.
and then turned and kept walking across the front yard. I was more weirded out than afraid. I figured this guy had to have been someone who lived there and was playing a practical joke on someone. I continued to my friend's house and eventually forgot all about it. The next morning, I was waiting for the school bus to come to pick up me and my sister. It was still pretty early, and the morning fog was rising up from the grass, and the frost was slowly melting off the windshields of some nearby parked cars. I was just wandering up and down the sidewalk when I saw the Michael Myers guy again. This time he was directly across the road, standing between two garages.
This time it looked like
and
he needed
looking
an
my
oxygen
way.
tank.
I pointed him out to my sister, but he was standing so still that she assumed that he was some kind of Halloween decoration. I was tempted to call out to him,
Hell
but I decided
no,
against
he's not
it.
standing still.
And
That
even in
boy
my
out of breath.
12-year-old mind, I felt genuine alarm that an adult could walk around with a mask on this early and stare at someone else's children. It wasn't until I was on the bus that the figure finally moved. I tried to point him out to my sister, but the bus was already moving, and he was out of sight. That night was Halloween, and my sister and I went out dressed as Ash and Misty, and my father accompanied us,
Wait,
occasionally saying
Ash don't got a
in a
tie?
really loud, squeaky voice when other people were close by to embarrass us. It wasn't until we were on our way home that I saw the Michael Myers guy again.
Oh.
He was walking down the side of the road behind us. Other people were walking by him without even reacting.
That boy in
I
stalk
tried to
mode.
point him out to my father, but he barely looked twice at the figure.
Where's
When
your
we got home,
Wait, hold
I
up.
watched from my bedroom as the figure stood outside our front lawn.
Where's your dad?
He waited there for a few minutes before disappearing around the side of our house. Now I was starting to get nervous. I asked my dad if one of his friends was messing with us, and I begged him to take a look outside. But
That
he
boy
came
got the
back a
fist
minute
balled up
later
like Arthur.
with a completely carefree attitude, stating that there was no one there. Later that night, my sister crept into my room and whispered that there was someone outside of her bedroom window. Instead of calling out to my parents,
Oh,
who were
man.
both asleep, I grabbed my flashlight and followed her back to her room. I told her not to turn on any lights. When we got to the window, I turned on the flashlight and shone the beam directly into the face of Michael Myers,
Damn.
who was standing directly outside peering through the window. His hands were cupped against his eyes to help him see inside. When the light hit him,
Like
you
directly?
would think that he would have bolted, but instead he remained motionless. He opened his hands and slapped the window hard enough to knock a framed picture off the wall. I screamed like I was being eaten by a shark. The figure then put his right index
What
finger
the-
up to the lips of his mask,
Wait, what?
as if telling me to shush. He then vanished into the darkness.
Nah, fam.
My father then burst into the room, and we both started crying as we told him what we saw.
Yo, you better go out there, dog. Stop trying to
The
be
cops
cool
were
with this
called,
backpack on you
but they
got,
took
bro.
their time getting
Be a
there.
father out there. What you
Obviously
trying to
not
do?
very concerned that it was anything other than a Halloween prank. Had I not seen the stranger before that night, I may have believed that. The neighborhood was searched, but no one wearing a Michael Myers mask was found. A few weeks later, I had come down with a cold and was staying home from school. My sister waited alone at the bus stop that day.
Damn,
While she was
bro.
there, someone tried to pull up next to her in a white van and tried to convince her to climb in. She sprinted back to the house and told my mom. I'm not sure if this connects to the man in the Michael Myers mask, but something tells me that
Dude,
it
it's
does.
creepy, bro. That boy went to get a whip, bro, because he can't walk no more. Can't stand y'all, bro.
I think for any American teenager, starting high school has to be one of the most stressful, daunting experiences of their entire education.
High school went
But
by
for me,
fast,
it was
actually.
particularly rough. You see, I was a real late bloomer, still very much a squeaker by the time I got to be a freshman. While the boys my age were getting growth spurts and sprouting facial hair, I could easily have still passed for like 11 or 12. I mean, I got caught up eventually, don't get me wrong, but there are pictures of me from back then that
Boy,
my
your
current
hair
roommate
look
has
like
seen,
you
and
about
he
50.
jokes that I had the body of an anorexic bikini model. I'd like to argue to the contrary, but honestly, that's not far off. So unfortunately, I was an
Yeah.
obvious target
Why
for
does it look
bullying
like the gym
seniors,
teacher, bro?
the worst of which was this big slab of meat with red hair named Josh.
Oh, my
Josh used to
gosh.
push me into lockers on a daily basis like, "Are
Bro,
you sure you're old enough to be here, short stuff?"
that
I was
never
in
happens
absolutely
in
no
high
position
school,
to be able to
bro.
defend myself.
This story is
So
cap.
this goes on for like a month, and each time
This
I
is, like,
get sicker and
stereotypical,
sicker
bro.
of how he's treating me. It's not like I was a total pushover either. Despite
look
my
like
small
it.
stature, I'd managed to deter any potential middle school bullies by being something of a pint-sized brawler. Even if you don't quite win a fight, you can still inflict a fair amount of damage, and after that, suddenly they don't want the smoke anymore.
They don't want to
So
smoke
it was
anymore.
honestly only a matter
Yo,
of
this
time
guy's a
before I
real one.
snapped at Josh. Sure, he was bigger than me,
Oh,
but I was about perfectly positioned to nail one good punch to the balls, and after that, there
This
was little
man.
chance he'd want to lay hands on me again. Anyway, it's getting closer and closer to Halloween, and some of the bullying is getting pretty intense, and I said, each time something happens,
Is this
I
Josh?
get more and more furious.
Oh.
Up until the point where, on the morning of Halloween, me and my friends are talking about going trick-or-treating that evening, swapping costume ideas and stuff, when Josh appears like out of nowhere and starts verbally pounding on us about how we're such a bunch of nerds. I think it was how he was trying to
This
show me
man.
up in front of my friends that really did it. I just couldn't stand the thought of losing face in front of them, so I clapped back with like, "Yeah, but your mom loves it when I dress up for her."
Yeah. Why he do it with the finger, dog? Yo. I see why. I see why he picks on you, bro. Cause you do stuff like this, bro. Head ass.
Scanian, Weinstock, and Reisman. Hey, LaRonda. No, I got 4 people on hold, but I can't talk.
Josh just stops dead, like this blank expression on his face.
Oh, man.
My buddies are all laughing like, "Got him," and
Got
I'm
it.
expecting Josh to start trying to pummel
Yo,
on me, but
this guy's funny,
he doesn't
bro.
move. He just stares off into the near distance for like a full minute while I look back at him in confusion.
What's wrong
Then,
with Josh, bro?
without
What the
a word
heck?
in reply, Josh just storms off without so much as looking at us. But before he disappears around a corner, he full-on throws a right hook into a locker so hard he put a dent in the thing.
Hey, is that
It's
serious
like,
when you
boom,
joke about
punches
someone's
it so
mom?
loud a teacher comes out from a class,
Facts,
screaming
bro.
and asking what was that. It felt kind of good knowing I'd gotten him so mad, even if I probably would end up suffering for it. But just how much I'd suffer for it, I had absolutely no idea. So cut to like an hour or two later, and we're all having lunch, sitting around the tables just minding our own business. One by one, seniors start coming up to our table like, "Did you really say that stuff to Josh about his mom?" And when I say yes, they're all like, "Wow, dude. Just, wow." Walking away, shaking their
What the
heads
heck?
and laughing.
Boy, if you don't stop with your
This
instigating
happens like a bunch
stuff,
of
I'll
times,
roast your
too, and
mom
at
too.
First, I think they're just
What the
impressed
hell?
that I flamed the bully so hard, but
I
there's
flamed
something
him,
else
bro.
there too. Something that kind of piqued my curiosity.
Josh got mad. He got roasted,
So,
bro. What
in
the
the
heck?
end, when this one senior
Isn't
kid
it the
asked
same
what
dude?
I'd said, I stopped and was like, "Why is that such a big deal? Guy had it coming." "Yeah, but you brought up his mom."
You brought up his
The kid
mom,
replied.
dog. That thing's
Like
serious.
it wasn't what kids always bring up against each other when they're trading insults.
You brought up his
I'm
mom,
like,
dog. Come on.
So what? Yo mama jokes are like old news by
Yo,
now. The king then looks at me like I just told him I thought the earth was flat. "Dude, Josh's mom died over summer break. Sudden cancer diagnosis or something."
well,
It was
man, he
brutal.
shouldn't have been a bully. What the heck? How am I
It's hard
supposed to
to
know?
even sum up the mix of emotions I felt in that moment.
What the heck?
Like I felt like a douche. Bully or no bully, losing your mom like that must be one of the worst things that can ever happen to a person. And to remind him of it made me feel terrible.
He was bullying
Then,
you.
having
What
not
the
known,
heck?
That just made me feel so out of the loop. Just like an outsider or something.
He lucky he
Like I
didn't
had
get
no place
rocked.
being there, which was already bad enough considering my physique. But what really overwhelmed me was the fear I felt, knowing I'd made him so unbelievably furious. The locker punch suddenly made all the sense in the world, and I imagined the kind of
Josh over here trying to get attention and everyone, because clearly he told everybody, bro. Why is everyone coming up to him and be like, yo, did you really say that about him? Like, what the heck? Come on now, bro. Josh just want that attention.
Edge I'd personally want if someone made fun of my dead mom like that. Suddenly a few crotch punches didn't seem like such an effective deterrent. Josh would be wanting to tear me apart.
Pause.
I managed to duck him for the rest of the day. For a while, I was actually debating whether or not I should actually just bite the bullet and apologize to him. A little empathy might have been good for all involved, and it's not like I would be doing so just to save my own skin. Like I genuinely felt bad about having said what I said.
With Josh traumatized.
I guess I was just too cowardly to actually seek him out, and doing so seemed like a dumb move on my part when it would just be easier to ninja around school and bail when the final bell rang.
Just talk
which is
it
exactly
out,
what
my
I
G.
did. Then just headed home in the hopes that a little trick-or-treating fun would be exactly what I needed to take my mind off the whole thing. Besides, it was a Friday, and whatever was going to happen over the mom insult fiasco was at least going to have to wait until Monday. I'd gotten myself what was essentially a stay of execution. So like I said, that night was Halloween, and me and a few buddies had planned on going trick-or-treating together. It was a good time. I mean, anything involving free candy always makes for a good time, right?
I guess.
The night was going smoothly, right up until we stop at a crosswalk where this car is pulling up. The car stops, and we step out into the street as we start to walk in front of it.
It's the homie Josh.
Right as we're on a level heading with it, one of my buddies is like, "Don't look, dude," under his breath.
One of your
Nudging me
buddies?
and pointing toward
Bro, that's your only buddy. What the heck?
the car. And naturally I look. Big mistake. Because who sat in the driver's seat of that car cruising around on Halloween night with his buddies? Of all the people
He's
on the face
alone.
of Earth that I really didn't want to run into that evening.
He doesn't have
It had to
nobody.
be them sitting in their car at the crosswalk. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It was the slab of meat, Josh.
Pause.
And right then, as I'm perfectly positioned in front of his car, we lock eyes with one another.
Why is he surprised?
Obviously, I'm wearing a costume, but no mask. So although it takes him a minute of being like, why does this little runt seem familiar to me? He does actually recognize who I am. Now, I knew he was going to be mad, but I didn't expect him to be this mad. Because as soon as it hits him that
The
it's me walking
animation
in
is
front of
so
the car,
funny, bro.
he guns his engine and just lurches forward, actually trying to straight up run me and my friends over.
Oh.
We managed to run out of the way just in time, and he heads up the street while onlookers are like, "Oh God, did you see that? Those poor kids almost got hit," and stuff, while we watch from the sidewalk as he does a very illegal U-turn before coming right back at us. We just start
Damn,
running
bro.
down the sidewalk,
Gun it,
trying
bro.
our very best to
Where's your
escape.
boy
but
at?
The dude was in his car, so we stood absolutely no chance of getting away from him. Josh just guns it past us,
I don't know, man. You
cutting
could
off
break
our
his
route
ankles.
of escape, then jumps out of the car to give chase. He was a big dude, but Jesus Christ was he fast. So needless to say, he catches up to me in like no time at all and just tackles me down onto the sidewalk.
Ooh.
Then, as you can probably guess, Josh then proceeds to beat the goo out of me, with me shouting, I'm sorry, I didn't know," the whole time. Like he's just raining blows down on me, kicking me while I'm balled up on the sidewalk. When I hear something I still feel kind of
man.
conflicted about. He's grunting and cursing at me for a while, but then I hear something else. He's like whimpering or something as he's hitting me. Then his voice starts to break while he's calling me all kinds of names, and I come to realize that he's actually crying. It was weird. I could have at least tried to get up and make a run for it, but I didn't. I just shut up and let him wail on me for a while because honestly, I felt like I kind of deserved it. I know that probably sounds really dumb.
You're
He was a bully,
simp, bro.
and he's probably still a bully now, but yeah, there it is. I just felt really sorry for the guy. No one deserves to lose their mom like that. No one. He only stops beating on me when he's actually full-on ugly crying, then
Oh
he heads
my
back
gosh,
to his
man,
car
I
and
can't
just
stand this dude.
drives off into the night. My trick-or-treating partners had long since ran off, leaving me alone and bloodied on the
Some
sidewalk,
friends, they are, right?
trying and failing a few times to find my feet. I mean, I didn't blame them. Hearing that car engine revving behind us was one of the scariest experiences of our lives, but Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I was all
You only
alone
have
at that
one
point.
friend, bro.
So like
Stop
I said,
saying friends as
it took
like
me a
it's
while to be able
plural.
to stand up enough to start my walk home. But not until I gathered up some of the candy that had spilled out of my sack during the beatdown, which was going to be badly needed for some soul-soothing that night. I snuck in, dodged my parents, and then told them the next morning that my bruises were just down to us play fighting and trying the kind of stuff that you don't try at home was all about. Mom was mad, but it meant I didn't have to tell them something that I was deeply ashamed of.
That you
maybe it
defended
was
yourself?
like an unprovoked thing.
Not
Just
physically, because clearly
Josh
you let
being
him
the
beat you
monster
up.
that he was. I'd have to tell them the truth, but given the circumstances, it had probably come out that I had insulted this kid's dead mom, in which case I wouldn't have a leg to stand on. But there it is. It was the scariest thing to happen to me for that Halloween.
That's scary
and
for you?
really any Halloween to come after.
That's scary?
And
Oh
the
my
bullying
gosh.
didn't stop, but then again,
Of course it
when
didn't.
does it ever?
You're a freaking simp, bro. This dude, bro. Anyways, guys, we're gonna stop it right there. Thank you guys for tuning in so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for even clicking on the video. Don't forget to subscribe for me. Don't forget to click that bell for me to turn on those notifications whenever I do post. It helps me out a lot. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. And I'll see you guys next episode, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Link's gonna be down in the description below if you guys want to check out this story for yourselves. And stay safe, stay healthy out there. Happy Halloween, I guess. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. And I'm out.
Panic. I'm thankful for my life and I can take this shit for granted. I'm from a different breed, like I'm from a different planet. They keep me where it hurt, but your boy's still standing. It's easier to fly, but the real skill landing. And if you ever cross me, I don't believe in second chances. I might just show some love, but I don't believe in no advances. I need it up front, cause you don't know my circumstances. I spend my life